So, where does he fit?
Are we having fun yet?
So this was a question posed a few days ago when I went live, and the question was, where does Joshua Primo fit if everyone stays? So what does that mean? That means if every single player on our roster, I mean minus Tyler Johnson, and yeah, but you know what I mean. If Devin Vassell, Lonnie Walker, Derek White, DeJounte Murray, if all the Keldon Johnson, if all these guys stay, where does Joshua Primo fits in? Well, I'm going to tell you. Josh Primo is the type of player where he fits anywhere. You don't have to worry about the puzzle when it comes to Josh Primo, because let me be honest, he's the type of dude that he can do so much that you can just kind of fit him in anywhere. Like, one way I would like to see this or say this is if you look at someone like James Harden, right? Like, James Harden is one of the best scorers we've ever seen in basketball. Now, minus playoffs, okay? But overall, he's one of the best scorers we've ever seen. But at the same time, you want the ball in his hands and he can facilitate as well. Any given night, James Harden can give you like 10 assists. Like, he can be a really good point guard. But at the same time, he is a shooting guard. I think that's the same way you can see Joshua Primo. Like, no matter what position you put him in, he can make everyone better because he's good at so many things. So, for instance, like, people say, well, DeJounte Murray's the point guard, and what if you put Josh Primo at point guard? Okay, just put Josh Primo at point guard. He will help DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray is a good scorer. He will bring out the best out of DeJounte Murray. Yes, say you put him at shooting guard. Well, he's been a catch and shooter in college. Like, and he's really good at that. That's like one of his specialties, right? He's good at everything, all right? That's one of his specialties. So you can put him in any situation and he'll make his teammates better. So he can be a catch and shooter. You can give him the ball and allow him to just shot create. You can give him the ball and allow him to facilitate for others. No matter what, he will be able to fit. That now, that's not the same thing with a lot of other players that we have on the team. Like, obviously, some of our players, you know, I won't just key them out, okay? But I won't just like throw them under the bus. But a lot of the players that we have, you can't have too many of them, okay? It's not that they're great at every single facet of their basketball game. Like, it's just not the reality. Like, if you look at Keldon Johnson, we know what Keldon Johnson's good at. All right, maybe, you know, a couple things. Bryn Forbes, right? Bryn Forbes is a sharpshooter. I don't know if he'll be back or not, but he's a sharpshooter. That's basically where that stops. Even my boy Derek White, he's an overall good player, but I would never say Derek White is a phenomenal scorer by any means. He knows how to use his body, high basketball IQ, but I would say that his specialties are more so facilitating and being a defensive guy. But let's take Derek White, okay? Because you guys know that I won't be throwing Derek White on the bus because he's my favorite player. So if you take Derek White, I never liked him as a shooting guard. I never liked him as a catch and shooter because that's not what he's great at. But Josh Primo in that position, he's capable of doing that. So he's good at so many other things till at the end of the day, you won't have to worry about where he fits. He'll just make everyone better. If you have him out there with Derek White is a facilitator. He'll set up Josh Primo well. Lonnie Walker's pretty good at facilitating. He'll set him up well. If Lonnie Walker's not facilitating, he's shooting. Lonnie Walker's a pretty good shooter. Josh Primo will find him. So no matter what position you put him in, he's just going to be one of those players, in my opinion, that you just want the ball in his hands and let him go to work. Same thing with James Harden. You don't necessarily worry about who's going to be the point guard. It's James Harden. You can just give him the ball and let him do something with it. If it's not the playoffs. But anyways, that's besides the point. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. I don't think that's something you have to necessarily worry about. I understood people's worries when it came to, like, you know, some of the other players because they're pretty good at a couple things and that's it. But when it comes to Josh Primo, he's good at so many different things till it won't matter. He'll fit with any team. Similar to like my boy Kyle Anderson, right? Kyle Anderson's so good at so many different things. He could probably play for any team and be okay. So that's my thoughts on it. Don't worry about the puzzle piece. You're trying to figure out where it fits. Don't worry, man. It's going to fit right in. He'll fit in with no matter what team is on the squad. He'll be able to navigate and, you know, make it happen. So anyways, if you guys want to support the channel, as always, only $2 a month, Patreon, YouTube members. I really appreciate all the love. And yeah, I guess till next time, man, deuces.